Hello and welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. I'm Aurelio Martinez, Steve Johnson, and I'll tell you what, in this segment we're going to talk about the amateur scene. Okay, amateur scene is actually starting to cook a little bit. It's been simmering and it's starting to cook a little bit. We're getting into that Olympic year to where we're actually starting to see the look of the team that's going to represent the United States in the Olympics and both women and thing. But before we get into the actual amateur scene, I know Steve, you wanted to talk a little bit about a function that went on just this week.
Yeah, well, just this past week, and then culminated on Saturday night. We had the 2015 International Boxing Hall of Fame induction ceremony where they inducted Layla Ali, Ann Wolf. Who else do we have? Laura Serrano, Phyllis Kugler, Janine Garside, Deidre Gogarty, Terry Moss, and Sparkle Lee. You remember Sparkle Lee? She was the first referee that was licensed in New York and New Jersey. So it was nice to see that happen. That was in conjunction with the 2015 Women's National Golden Gloves Tournament of Champions, where they crowned 8 division winners there. And we don't talk much about the women, but we're going to have to start talking about them more regularly as we get into competition for the 2016 Olympics, because as you know, in 2012, the women clearly outshone the men for the United States in Olympic competition. So that's just a quick mention of them. And like I said, we'll talk more about women as we get further along, closer to the Olympics. But radio, there's some good, solid world championship caliber action that's going to be going on for the men's side. And I know you know more about that than me, so go ahead and take it.
Good. And before that, I want to congratulate these women on
for sure,
their induction to the Hall of Fame. Layla Ali, I had the opportunity of meeting her personally and get to know her when we were training at the Floyd Mayweather camp, when I had the boxer at that camp and she was at the same camp. This was back before Mayweather had his own gym, so we were actually in the training camp where everyone was training. But congratulations, ladies. Job well done.
And just real quick, because Aurelio said that we both had the chance to meet and have a nice long conversation many years ago. You brought in Roberto Duran and Hector Camacho, Macho Camacho for a fight, and Ann Wolf was on the undercard, and we got to sit and talk with her. And if you ever have the chance to sit down and talk with Ann Wolf, she's an amazing lady. I know people see her on fight night and they think she's a crazy lady, but she's just passionate about what she does, and her story is tremendous. Probably there's not many women in boxing that I have more respect for than Ann Wolf.
Well, I'll tell you, that's good. So anyhow, let's get into this amateur scene.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into amateur scene. Of course, we're when I say we're, I'm talking about the United States. They're kind of putting their whole format together to see who's going to represent the United States. They've been going through a series of tournaments with the winners qualifying to go to the Olympic qualifying trials. Okay, at the end of that, then we'll eventually end up with the team that we're going to take to the Olympics. Now, I'm still not sold on the team that we're going to send, because I'm seeing some of the same names, but at least they're going through different qualifying events that kind of give the opportunity to a lot of different amateur boxers to at least make an attempt to make the team. Okay, and like you say, the girls, you still got Marlon Esparza, Clarissa Shields, and a couple of others that are just outstanding boxers.
Michaela Meyer,
that are going to represent the United States well. So anyhow, I think they have 2 more qualifying tournaments left. One in September, which will be in Baltimore, Maryland, and the winners of that will go into the pool of qualifiers to go to the Olympic trials
in Nashville, Tennessee.
And I think there's one following that, which will be in October. They don't know where or when yet, but there's one more that will bring in the final crew of amateurs for the trials. And then, of course, you'll start to have the box off the trials at the end of the year, which will actually put the team together. So after that, it's all hard training, hard work, to make it to that representation of the United States in the Olympics.
Can I tell you one thing that a lot of people aren't going to like to hear, but it's a fact? As of right now, we sit here today, we don't know where the Olympic trials will be held. The Olympic boxing trials for the United States, we do not know where they're going to be held. They're having venue problems, and we'll talk about that more as we get into it. But I know for a fact, I can tell you, they do not know where it's going to be held right now, and that's a shame.
Well, just real quick, because we'll bring you up to date, but just real quick, because we kind of threw that out there. Initially, it was they had all their hopes to have it in California, and I believe it was Anaheim that they were going to have the Olympic trials. Okay, but California will not allow amateurs to compete without headgear. They have a law in place, and they just will not bend. They cannot. So that whole venue, that California, is out the door. So now USA Boxing will have to find another place and probably go out on bid and all that stuff. So we will keep you up to date of where them the box office trials will be, but it's not going to be in California.
Okay. Now let's talk about for the men. Let's get back to the men. I know we have a couple of tournaments coming up that's going to be have strong implications on kids that are very talented, but for whatever reason are not allowed to box in a USA boxing competition with the opportunity to compete in the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You happen to know one of them very well, Aurelio.
And I know one of them because he's been with me since he was a kid, and obviously he will be fighting this coming Saturday for an amateur world title in Indio, California.
Now you have several boxers. Are we talking about Misael Lopez?
We're talking about Misael Lopez. Of course, he's the one that's going to go. You mentioned a little bit about you got a ton of outstanding boxers that are here in the United States that have a whole lot of talent and cannot compete in these Olympic trials and advancing tournaments with USA, because USA Boxing, they have a rule where you have to be a citizen to compete in any advancing tournament. Okay, I'm not talking about just the Olympic trials and qualifying tournaments. I'm talking about any advancing tournaments. They are just not allowed to box in these tournaments unless they're American citizens. Well, there's tons of outstanding talent out there. I mean, you take California, okay, you take New York, where you got people, you got Texas. I mean,
Florida.
You got all the Latino people, the Mexicans, the Dominicans, the San Salvadorans, the Colombians, and then you've got the back east where you got people come in, and you got the Irish, the Russians, the Vietnamese. I mean, there's tons of talent out there, but they are not allowed to compete in that, and this tournament they're having in California, of course, is open to all boxers. I mean, to fight for this world title. So you're going to see some good competition. As a matter of fact, you talked about Misael Lopez. Misael Lopez competes in the 132-pound division. Okay, you won't see him rated in the United States because he can't compete in these tournaments. Okay, he is boxing in that tournament for the World Championship. He is boxing in the 132-pound division. He's boxing Gennaro Gomez. Gennaro Gomez is rated #1 in the United States and has been. Outstanding boxer. So this is the opportunity for Misael to go up there and say, hey, listen, although if I was allowed to box in these tournaments, I'll have your spot. So now it's time for him to go out there and show this. Now don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying this just because he's mine. Misael is a very talented young man, and he's going to fare well as a professional. He is. I mean, he's just one of them boxers where he listens, he does what he's supposed to do, and he's outstanding. And this particular Desert Showdown tournament, this segment, the World Fights, will be televised by a Latino television network in California. And from what I understand, it's a subsidiary, or it's underneath Telemundo. It's a Telemundo broadcast, but it's in California.
Will we be able to see it? Or no?
You'll be able to see it delayed, because I will get a copy of the tape, and the promoter already said that I will be able to put it up on our Throwdown show so that people can see them boxing events. It'll be on a delayed basis, but still, you guys will have the opportunity to see this kind of talent. And I'm going to tell you what, you're going to see you're going to see these amateurs, and you're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed at the talent that's coming into play for the next line of professionals. And talking about these Olympics and the politics that are behind the Olympics and making the team, many Olympian possibilities are opting out and they're turning professional. Just this year, we know what happened in the past years with people signing the Olympic hopefuls. But just this year, two that I know of that have won and gained a slot to fight in the Olympic trials have opted out and will be making professional debuts because they understand this is the route they want to take, because we don't want to go through this whole process and then not be given an honest chance because of the politics that play a part in the whole situation. And trust me, there's a lot of politics, and not only in amateur boxing, in everything. It's just the way it is. So,
yeah.
So my point is, you have good talent opting out and making a move to the professional line.
You know, I would like to say that I'll be excited to see Misael in this tournament. I won't be, because I know Misael well. I'm expecting Misael to win this thing. I know he's got the talent, and like you said, I've known Misael for what, 5-6 years?
Mm-hmm,
I mean, this kid, seen him come up from being a little, don't take this personal, Misael, a little snot-nosed kid, to now where he's a man, and this kid is, he knows what he wants to do, and he's very dedicated, very respectful. You know, everybody knows I'm big on kids being respectful. That was my thing with he and his dad right off the bat. Very respectful. His dad, Ebenezer, doesn't even speak any English, but, you know, he's always been respectful, and he's a kid that you can like. I mean, no matter what happens, he's a kid you can like. Never says anything demeaning about his opponent or anything.
No.
He's just a kid you can like. But this tournament, I'll be excited to hear how it all goes, and we'll talk about that next Monday because we'll have results from it.
That's right.
And best of luck to Misael. Best of luck to all these kids. This is for the title of a world title, and they're actually fighting guys that are the best. It's
best against the best.
Yes,
I mean,
so it'll be exciting.
I mean, you can look it up on the internet. It's the Desert Showdown in Indio, California. It's going to be held at the Fantasy Springs Casino. The tournament goes all week long, but these World Championships are going to be held only on Saturday, the 18th. So you want to watch that. And as a plus, you can come back. We're going to have a special segment that we're going to do where you're going to actually talk to Misael.
Yes.
You're going to talk to Misael, and people will actually be able to sit down, listen to him, and you're going to talk to him so that
I'm going to interview him like I don't even know him. So we're not gonna smile at each other or anything. It's like it's the first time I've ever met him. We'll try that. We'll see how it works.
Well, we'll see how he does on the camera. You know,
Yeah.
these young kids, they just know how to box. And
Yeah.
when you put him in front of a camera, then we just don't know what's going to happen. It should be fun to watch.
He'll be all right. He'll be fine.
Good. And with that concludes our amateur segment. And stay tuned. That'll be this week's Inside Boxing Throwdown. So come back next week when we'll do it again. Until then, keep them hands up.
Keep them up, baby.